What's something very interesting that you discovered while researching?
Well, I cannot say it right now. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, first of all, I don't know. I don't know if you have like some kind of like weird NDA. You know, the FBI show up. The FBI doesn't show up at my door. You know, please, Obama's music taste.
Turn up.
But in the sense of like little things that you had a hypothesis, and I know you try to be unbiased when you go into these research things, but then you look at the results and you're like, oh wow, that's not what I expected, or oh wow, this kind of turned. You know, I guess one example would be children being able to understand timbre at 3 days old, recognize their mothers was 3 days old. Things like that. What's something from a research that stands out that you're like, oh wow, that's a weird fact?
Well, we're just carrying a study with musical timbre, acoustical instruments, and it looks like children don't perceive attack time and spectrum in the way we adults do. Right?
Attack time and spectrum. How do you mean?
Attack time is like the time that the note takes to reach its peak.
Yes.
Okay, so like a kick that is like instantly, or a ball violin.
That builds
right? So that's let's say quite obvious. It looks like children are able to differentiate it very well. But in terms of spectral centroid and spectrum features, they don't perform as well as adults. So that made me think like, all right, some further research must be done here. Is that something that we learn when we are a bit older or not? I'm talking about children that are like 8 to 12 years old.
8 to 12 years old. That's very interesting and very odd, in the sense that I know one thing that they talk about is that children are very malleable mentally. They call it something. I think it's called like neuroplasticity. There we go. That's the word. Look at me sounding all fancy, my big words.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about neuroplasticity. And one would think that children will be a lot more adept at recognizing these sounds than adults.
Well, I don't know. We have to think that it's a field that we don't train for. So. Why should an adult be different to our children? We still have to explore that part. You have a timbre class in the conservatoire.
Yeah.
So we still don't know how it works. But I mean, the first results show that attack time, for instance, is very prominent. Like you can see it.
Yeah,
you can
obviously. Yeah,
it's very instant. So children sometimes are like, all right, first thing I hear is this. So when they perceive that sound, they listen to the attack time, and that's obvious for them. But in terms of the spectral center, the spectrum in general, maybe you should put a bit more of attention or rate in a different way. We still don't know why this happened, and still we need to do like further research. But in the further results show that they are way better at attack time than the spectrum.
Okay.
And that was really interesting, and also like strange,
I guess so. I guess that's a bit up in the air at the moment, and we're going to figure these things out. Honestly, from what I'm taking back from this is like, don't try doing any sound design until you're 12. Oh, you're gonna be shit. Dead Mouse wasn't made until he was, in his 20s. So
yeah, exactly.